We didn't think about something to talk about to intro this new episode that we just started recording.
We did not. No. I thought you were going to start it with the joke that you made about him earlier in the group chat from like a couple weeks ago.
What joke did I make in the group chat? This was like totally unrelated to the joke, like the reason I picked this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said,
okay, I remember now.
Okay, cool.
Because I was like, it was from a podcast that I had been listening to where they mentioned Super Size Me and Morgan Spurlock, and they were like, oh, his next documentary should have been called Super Size Me Too. And believe it or not, Ricky, because this was like the first thing I saw when I looked up this movie on Wikipedia, was that there was a sequel made in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately before he, like, whatever, canceled himself / came out with all the, called Super Size Me Too.
Yeah, kind of hilarious, no?
Do you think that that's the reason he, like, came out with it all? Like, honestly, I'm cynical, and I feel like he probably was just like, oh, someone's about to sue me, or, like, allegations are about to come out. I should just get ahead of this. But,
so
could he have been like, oh, I have this movie coming out called Super Size Me Too, and Me Too is happening, and, like, it just weighed on his conscience too much? Like, it was just too much for him to deal with?
I think it's a 50-50 thing, right? Where, like, he had the movie coming out. It's a huge grift, because it's the same as this movie, right? Just, like, the exact same premise.
It's the same movie,
it's the exact
basically.
same movie.
Yeah.
He's just, like, reprinting it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, because, like, I don't know. This is, like, the same level of, like, conspiracy theory crafting as the Mark Wahlberg thing. If I was on that plane, things would have ended up different. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Where are you? Of course I know that quote, but what are you talking about? Like,
the new plane
what is the
movie
correlation?
that he, like, starred in.
Oh,
yeah. So when
people
that's
look
up
not,
Mark
but he's the
Wahlberg
villain.
plane. Yeah,
sure,
but like when they look up
sure.
like Mark Wahlberg plane, they don't find that if I was on that plane, things would end up different. They find that he was in this movie. I feel like part of it's just that where like somebody like searched like super size me too, like something like that. They'd be like, I don't know. They're finding the movie instead of him forcibly canceling himself. And anyway, the joke that I was going to make in response to that, which I was workshopping and I couldn't figure out something that like made sense for.
We can do it on mic. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. It's the same thing as if he was like sexually harassing his employees while making a movie about like sexual harassment in the workplace. Essentially, right?
That's not a joke.
It's not really a joke, but like I don't know. It's a joke in that it's pointing out the absurdity of a situation. It's many things, He has an affinity for classical music. Anyway.
That was a terrible poll. A terrible joke.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't make it work. There was nothing, like, usable there.
Jesus Christ. This is We Want to Watch. I can feel the quarter pounder with cheese just, like, sinking my entire mood right now. Just, like, so heavy.
That's what you get for it.
My name's Lane.
My name's Ricky.
Yeah. This is a podcast where we ostensibly we watch movies we want to watch, and then we talk about them, but...
Hopefully,
I don't know why I was so... I think part of it... I've started listening to another podcast, and I'm outing myself here, telling on myself a little bit. I've started listening to a podcast called Doughboys. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not. What's it about?
They review chain restaurants.
So that's
two
cool.
Comedians. Yeah. And I listened to a series that they did about McDonald's, and ever since... And that wasn't the first episode I listened to, but it's one of those podcasts where, like, they really get into the food. They go on tangents and shit, but like every time I listen, I'm like, man, that sounds kind of good. I'm kind of hungry right now. For the McDonald's series, did they go to different McDonald's? Because like I feel like quality control is pretty bad across different chain restaurants. No, this was for their March Madness series, so they did like a 64 McDonald's menu items duking it out against each other until like one at a time. Yeah.
That's kind of sick, actually.
It was literally sick. They ate 64 McDonald's menu items and then reviewed them. I mean, and then they did that multiple times, with each bracket. So
wow, that's dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't. So I live close to a McDonald's because most people probably do. It's like how you're never more than 5 feet from a Spider. You're never more than 2 miles from McDonald's. But so
unless you're in the McDonald's dead zone, the food desert, as they like to call it.
I don't think it's a food desert if there's no McDonald's. I think that's normal and healthy if there's no McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's a food biome flourishing.
Yeah. But so, I live close to one, but my fast food of choice, and this is part of why I wanted to talk about this episode, or talk about this movie, is because we love food. We love talking about food. Yeah. Whenever we talk about food, we have a spirited conversation. So I was like, this will be a good inroad here. But so my choice fast food is Taco Bell, which is on the other side of town. It's a pain in the ass to get there. So I never go to this McDonald's because McDonald's doesn't hold the same
doesn't hit the same
place
at all
in my heart.
Yeah.
This week we watched Super Size Me from 2004, directed by Morgan Spurlock. Also, I don't think I've said that yet. So
not yet, but yeah, I think it's a good spot to intro it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. But there's one literally a 1 minute drive from my house now, and so
that's dangerous.
I drive by it and I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't hold the same cultural cash.
No allure, no pull.
It doesn't, especially because. And I was talking to you about this earlier because I was like, I should probably get some McDonald's and eat this on mic.
Yeah,
but I did not. I did not eat. I will not eat on mic for those of us with hearing sensitivities at home. But
meanwhile, I'm fucking banging my desk all day. You got to do your best to edit it out. Sorry to those with hearing sensitivities.
But so they don't have any vegetarian options, and I do try to. I know I'm constantly making the joke of wow, I can't believe that Domino's made this perfect, vegan pepperoni or whatever. But I do try to eat mostly vegetarian, and so McDonald's doesn't have shit. They don't have anything other than fries, basically, and potato products and apple slices. Not a meal.
So that's why earlier I said, "Oh, actually, I think they switched over to vegan chicken tenders."
Oh, I thought you were being legitimate. I was
I'm being facetious.
Really?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, the way you replied, you're like, "Oh, I didn't see anything like that." I was like, "Oh no, Lane's lost the plot." It was way too innocent and lighthearted. I was like, "No."
Well, I regret to say that. Go ahead.
Do they not have Beyond Burgers there? I thought they were doing that for a bit.
No, I think that was Burger King.
Oh,
and Wendy's.
Yeah.
Did the Beyond and Impossible. They had the Impossible Whopper, I think was one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't remember McDonald's ever having anything like that. And it is kind of crazy that they don't have a single, vegetarian anything other than, you could get, an egg and cheddar probably. But, even then, I think it comes with sausage by default. It's tough. It's not great.
Yeah. So,
but having listened to this other podcast so much and heard them talk about hamburgers for a week straight now, I was like, I should probably go get some McDonald's. So I did before this. I had been craving it. I was like, I need the QPC.
Yeah, hell
some
yeah.
fries, So
did it live up to the hype? Just fine.
Well, okay, so this was annoying. I don't know how often you probably never go to drive-thrus because you would have to. You've probably the last time you were in a drive-thru was probably with me.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, it was the last time we've been to Taco Bell, which was years, but
yeah. Anytime I go to a drive-thru now, they make you pull forward. Even though it's I ordered this 10 minutes ahead of time on the app, there's no one else in the line, and they'll be like, we need a minute, can you pull forward and park in the whatever and we'll bring it out to you. I think it's just because they're gaming the drive-thru times, because but still, I'm like, come on. So they did that to me at this McDonald's, and they were like, oh, the fries aren't ready. It's going to be 3 minutes. And I was like, okay, whatever. No one else in line. I had ordered ahead, fine. And I pull ahead. I get home.
This fries must have been sizzling.
Listen to me. Listen. This is not a fucking joke. The hamburger was great. It was exactly as I remembered. It was the perfect consistency, like the gooey cheese, like was just the right amount of melted.
And that's
like
what they
ketchup hit.
That's what they offer, right? It's the same thing every time, and it's that perfect taste that you remember every time. Yeah. I
hadn't had a McDonald's hamburger in years, maybe a decade, and like this was exactly as I remembered it being. Like the onions, I love the onions and pickle.
Oh yeah.
The fries were not that hot at all. I was like, you fucking scumbag shit. What kind of...
You made me wait 3 minutes for what? For what?
Yeah. They were not... The fries were mid. And, like, I've had the fries before, like, from McDonald's in the last couple of years, and they've been good. But like you said, the quality control is all over the place.
Yeah, so. So, for me personally, the fries dipped in a chocolate shake,
those are
killer.
Good.
That's always the move. Especially because they're, like, almost too salty by themselves. And like,
yeah, sure.
Kind of don't want a soda. I'm a little kid, so I like the chocolate Frosties. So like the dip, it's killer. But yeah, as far as like remembering, like having good memories of like I guess fast food, which is like weird to say. I remember like the first time I had Burger King, or the first time I had a Whopper from Burger King because my mom didn't let me have them. And I was hanging out with my brother. And that was a little over a decade ago, and I think I've had maybe one or two more than that. Like,
okay,
yeah, and it's the same flavor every time. I still remember that first bite too. I was like, "Fuck, man, this is what I've been missing. This shit's crazy, dog. I could eat this every day." I did used to be a fiend for their chicken fries, and I tried them again recently.
Oh,
and
those were really good.
They're not the same anymore.
They're not good anymore.
They changed the recipe.
They went
like
away,
weird now.
So...
Yeah. The old ones were killer, and the new ones are pretty subpar. Pretty bad, honestly.
Well, okay, as a fucking entry point into this movie, which I think, judging from the stinger that we recorded immediately before starting this episode, I think we're probably on the same page about this.
Yeah.
But he fucking says the nuggets are miserable. What are you talking about? Your credibility is shot.
The nuggets are the best part of the best part of McDonald's. Yeah. That's also why I was like, oh, the nuggets are vegan, because I was like, I mean, if you're going to McDonald's, that's kind of like top tier. I mean, not that I don't like their burgers. They're good for like, I mean, I eat them in like 3 or 4 bites, and it's like, that fleeting happiness is, close to heavenly. But the nuggets, that's like real food almost, right? Like, jeez, man.
It is more of a, like, less of an approximation of food and more just actual food, compared to a lot of other things on the McDonald's menu. But yeah, I agree. So when he said that, I was like, oh, people should have had their fucking, like, red flag. Like, if this were, in alternate history, like, when we're making the movie about the way people responded to this and, like, the discovery of...
the ways in which Watergate. They move through the world and stuff,
I'm just saying, the fact that no journalist or, like, watcher at the time was like, this guy just said that McNuggets are bad? Like, maybe we should investigate this more. Like, that should have been the fucking, like, the smoking gun of, like, or, like, the entry point of, like, something's fishy here. Yeah. Something's wrong.
Something's off. Does this guy just have no taste? Like, what's going on here?
Are his taste buds maybe messed up from the quantities of alcohol he might be drinking off camera? Which I do have to... Let me read the exact exchange from earlier, because that made me laugh out loud, what you sent to me, which was, I messaged you, should I eat McDonald's on mic? And you said, should I drink excessively off mic, then get bad liver test results on mic?
Wait, because there's a scene in the movie where he's talking to the doctor. Yeah, and like verbatim, the doctor's like, hey man, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, like, affecting the liver, except for, like, excessive drinking. Like, he's like, doing this with a high-fat diet would be unprecedented. And, like, Morgan Spurlock's like, yeah, that's nuts.
Pretty crazy.
yeah, like, bro.
So, I guess to set the scene, because maybe there is a possibility that people are coming to this episode not knowing all of the, like, lore that has transpired in the 20 years since this movie came out.
Right.
So, First of all, Morgan Spurlock is dead. All of the impact of fast food.
Is he actually dead?
Trial actually killed him. Yes, we've talked about this several times. We straight up have talked about this. He died last year.
Fuck! Wow.
He died like not even a year ago. Yeah.
Wow, Jesus.
From cancer. Actually, he did not die of like coronary heart disease or but so in 2017, like we talked about at the beginning of this episode, he did come out and say, I can't, he had like a really, I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to just like shit all over this dead guy.
Yeah, with the whole don't speak of the dead, yada yada, yeah.
Well, I don't really care about that. I just don't, I really wanted to, I don't give a fuck about the dead. No, I wanted to come into this episode and like watch this movie. I tried as much as I could, like, is this a good documentary? Even setting aside the journalistic shit and like Morgan Spurlock as a person, is this movie like, does it have value? Is it good? The answer is no. So I'm I'm like not super measured anyway, but regardless. So he put out this fucking statement in 2017 saying, that he had been like a sexual harasser and like rapist basically. And he,
I thought it was just that he was like drunk constantly, and that's why he was like puking, and they were recording that for the movie.
What do you think it means to be Me Too'd, bro?
No, I know. Yeah.
So he he like admitted he wrote this like essay or whatever saying like, I can't, I'm part of the problem, whatever. Okay, fine. I'm a cynic. I figure he's probably just getting in front of whatever allegations. But as Ricky just said, in this essay, he kind of says, I haven't been sober for more than a week for 25 years or something. Like he says something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, this movie was recorded 15 years prior to him saying that, not even. He's, presumably or ostensibly not eating anything but McDonald's, food and drink. All of the health effects that are proclaimed as a result of this diet are immediately called into question because of this. I could not find any record of him after having released that essay saying anything about Super Size Me. I did a lot of digging. I couldn't find like him being like in another blog post or like a tweet or something being like, yeah, actually, like I was drinking really heavily, or actually that was one of the more sober periods, so the results are like I couldn't find anything about it. He basically fell off the face of the earth. And so I think to me that shows a level of cowardice, chicken shitism, I think. The fact that, like, I'm going to come out and do this like brave thing and kind of have this like narcissistic essay about these women that I've harassed, and then still like the number one thing that you're most known for is called into question, and to not acknowledge that. Just, I think you're trying to engage with him too authentically, because like for like what he put out being so inauthentic, right? Like expecting him to have like any level of, I don't want to say artistic integrity, or like journalistic integrity, or just, Well, I mean, we already know he doesn't have integrity because he like got out in front of it with the whole Me Too stuff, and it's like, all right, well, I mean, the fact that you did it kind of means that you're a shithead, so whatever. Like we already know he doesn't have integrity, point blank. No, I mean, I agree with you. Like it's immediately called into question the whole movie, and like knowing that, I still try. Like I don't think you're wrong. Now that I've watched the movie again and read through all of this stuff, like, I think you're right. Like there's no question that this guy was a slime bag. I started to say slime ball and sleaze bag, slime bag. I think slime bag works. Yeah. From the beginning, and so, but when I watched it, I really wanted to be like, because like part of the message of this movie, or like part of what he seemed to be setting out to do, it's like the corporate responsibility aspect of this, of like, is McDonald's a good company? Not that they're, whatever. Mm-hmm. No. Right? Do they have a responsibility that they are abdicating from in, public health by being one of the biggest, like, whatever, suppliers of food in the Western world? and providing shitty food and like deceptive marketing and whatever. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. This movie's not an effective like message for, or like a vehicle for that message at all. No, period. Like it's terrible. Yeah.
It also contradicts itself at like a few points.
100%.
The very earliest being not even 5 minutes into the film, he's talking about how he's like, oh, like Americans, like they've gotten so fat lately, and they're so fat and stupid and lazy, and then immediately afterwards he goes, McDonald's has like 2 trillion locations all around the world, and he puts up the map of all of the locations, and it's like, all right, do you not get how that's sort of antithetical to your original point that McDonald's is the issue when it's saturated the world, bro? Like,
right.
What's going on there? But like he just keeps breezing past it, like it's like, whatever. It's like, all right, dude, like obviously there's probably something else at play here.
I think we should also say, in case this wasn't obvious, I feel like we're going to talk a lot about fatphobia and probably like ED stuff too. I know I couldn't stop thinking about it when we watched this, so you know, for those with weight sensitivities out there like us,
maybe
we can't edit
might be
that
a skip.
out.
Might be a skip. Yeah.
This could be a skip. Yeah.
Well, there's like almost every interview he has, the person he's interviewing is just like so like vitriolically fat phobic, and they're making like
it's crazy.
Right, but they make like no substantial claims.
Substantive
at all.
art.
It's just like they're just like, oh yeah, McDonald's bad food, makes you fat, makes you stupid. They feed it to the kids, it makes them dumb and stupid and lazy, and it gets them on their phones. Like, we gotta stop it. We gotta stop. And it's like, what is this, man? Like, this isn't a documentary. It's just like, just dudes fucking shitting on McDonald's, man. Like,
we have talked about this a couple times off mic, but I watched this in school for health class.
Same, yeah.
Several times. Probably at least 3 times. I don't know if that's a uniquely American phenomenon, or like, if like our friends north of the border, or like in other countries if they watch it.
Yeah.
You know,
no longer our friends north of the border, but
I still have friends, you know, that's not my president, okay?
The country formerly friends with us north of the border, yeah.
But so, like, it's crazy, because at the time I remember it being like, this is kind of crazy that they, you know, the effects of this, right? I'm like 11 years old. Like, wow. But the thing that had stuck with me for so long, until basically I became familiar with like fat activism and like whatever, body positivity. The thing that stuck with me was the exact person that you're talking about, the interview from which I paid attention closer this time.
Yeah.
Well, the one where he compares the smokers and the people, like the fat person who's eating.
Oh, yeah. That was just evil, man. That dude actually just has problems. Because he was like...
Yeah, he's a senior editor... No. He's a senior editor at fucking Reason Magazine, the libertarian, like, whatever, magazine. So, there you go. Like, yeah. He's also from Wilkes-Barre, so...
Okay, makes sense.
But,
Yep.
But so... That, I always remembered that. This guy just being like, you fat pig, like, stop eating and don't eat dairy dessert. Like, I feel like I know it verbatim, because I remember it sticking out to me. Yeah, it's evil.
It's crazy because, like, he's like, oh yeah, so, like, there's a smoker at the table. I said, hey man, do you think maybe that could be affecting your health? And he said, no, haha. And then, if I had said the same thing to the larger woman at the table... And then he just starts fucking it, like, he just goes off on a rant, like, where he's just, like, insulting them. It's like a fucking, like, copy pasta of just, like, pure fatphobic, like, insults. And it's like, and he's like, I would be seen as the bad guy. And it's like, yeah, no shit, dude! Because you're talking like an asshole! Like, fuck off, man! It's so insane, yeah. But anyway.
No, I mean, I think this movie being shown in schools is just, like...
Oh, it's evil,
embarrassing.
It's also it's that, like, I don't want to say sweet spot, but it's that like plausible deniability point of like like, we want kids to be healthy. We want and more generally, we want people to be healthy, and like, obviously skinny equals healthy, so we need to like tell people that, like, hey, like, calories are bad, you need to stop eating this, saturated fat is bad, like, you need to read labels, you have to make sure you're not eating red dye number 40, it gives you ADHD. It's just like all this shit like that. It's like, great, cool, but maybe you're just making people who are neurotic and crazy about food instead of, like, any form of a healthy relationship with it.
And,
right. It's like, how does that help, man?
Yeah. And I get that this was, right, contextually in the early 2000s was, like, when people started talking about the, and I'm using heavy scare quotes here, like, obesity epidemic. And I don't necessarily want to get into, like, the science and, like, how a lot of that stuff has been walked back and, like, some of those numbers were inflated. Like, those are all things that you can research on your own. But when it comes to, like, the context of this, it was, like, perfect timing. Like, he really got lightning in a bottle doing this at that time in 2004.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so...
And I feel like it started to, like, sweep in a bunch of the, like, fad diets, like keto or paleo, like all of these, which...
I almost said McAfee, but Atkins is what I was trying to say.
Atkins, I haven't heard of that one.
The McAfee diet, which is probably meth. Atkins, whatever. It's just another fad, whatever type of diet.
Was that like one of the meal program ones that they would send?
Yeah, Weight Watchers type deal. Yeah. I think Atkins specifically was like low carbs, high fat, maybe, or something like that. Like all about the macros. Yeah.
So that's like
every couple of years, it's like new macro, like breakdown. You know, just like shifting it around.
It's the craziest thing to me about keto, and like I've had to explain this to people because like it started getting big in like my church, and like older people were geting into it, right? Because like, you know, they're sitting around, they watch TV
like, you're gonna die.
And I was like, hey, like, well, I would probably like talk to your doctor first, because it can like hurt your liver. And they're like, how would it hurt my liver? It's so good for you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, just talk to your doctor about it. Because your body stops like working off of glucose and it starts like just directly burning fat, and it's like that's like a stress response, or not. Yeah. Well, not like a mental stress response, but you're physically stressing your body through like what you're giving it to like operate off of. And people are like, no, but like that's a good thing. It's burning fat, right? And it's like, I mean, no! like, there's more to it than that. Like, there's a reason why, you want to eat fats, right? Like, they are good for you. I don't know.
Well, that's... Man. I feel like I should have come with a better outline.
Too. But...
It's okay.
Gotta edit that.
I have fundamental qualms with this movie from like a math standpoint. Okay, so
yeah. Oh,
as somebody,
yeah. Wait, me too.
Okay,
me too.
Okay, all right. I'm deep. Okay, all right. We're both so cooked. I am deep in the fucking 3,500 calories is a pound. You need to have your basal metabolic rate like calculated, and then you can figure out exactly how much weight you can lose in a week. Mm-hmm. I know these things. Mm-hmm. You know, it's why one fucking thing I know. And watching him, first off, he measures in to start with 6'2" and 80 or 185. That's not like a lean. That's like not on the big size, but like he's not a small dude.
No, so the fact that it's pretty average. It's like, yeah, it's whatever.
He's eating a double quarter pounder with cheese, the supersized fries, and a drink, and he's throwing up 5 minutes later?
Yeah.
You're full of shit. It's because you drank a fucking fifth, like, of Tito's right before this or something. Like, I...
Even when I was a kid, when I first watched that, when I saw him puke, I started laughing, like, in class.
This guy sucks.
Yeah, no, I started laughing, and they were like, oh, is this funny? Is this guy puking funny to you? I was like, yeah, because he's full of shit. And they're like, he was on the purest diet known to man. He only had organic, free-range, heirloom tomatoes eaten every day. And I was like, this guy is a bullshitter. Like, this is fucking stupid. Why am I wasting my time sitting here watching this, man?
We are going to be all over the fucking place. So in the beginning, though, he doesn't say that he was eating vegan he wasn't only vegan, which I remembered that he was, but he was eating vegan for dinner and had like a regular diet outside of dinner because his girlfriend was vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which, like, her vegan food looks so disgusting. It was literally like a Pillsbury tart with like some like grilled peppers or something on it. Like, he just did this movie so he could stop eating her food for a month.
It's like, oh babe, I'd love to come back and try out your new tart, right? But I gotta eat this double quarter pounder with cheese and then wash it down with a big ass Coke and a fucking large supersized fry. I'm sorry, I got it it's for the documentary, babe. I can't. You know, babe, I can't.
I'm gonna be an Oscar nominee. I'm gonna go to the Oscars. They'll love me.
But also, while we're on the topic of his girlfriend, real quick, the part where she's like, yeah, I don't know, I think it's making it harder for him to get it up, you know? I've got to ride him. He just can't. He's got no energy anymore. That's so crazy, man, that he put this in his own fucking documentary. And, like, she literally says, like, yeah, he's having problems getting it up. But he still does. It's like, dude,
it's still good. What? Yeah. She's like, it's still good, but you know, it's different now. It's like,
like, Jesus. It also means that he's coming home after like polishing off this fucking like big ass bag of McDonald's. He's like, babe, I'm gonna need you to ride. I can't. I'm too tired. It's for the documentary. All the Donalds. It's just sitting there, babe. I can't be on top tonight.
This is true. This was one long con that just got way out of control.
Yeah. He would sneak away at nights to eat sometimes, and then he's like, "Oh no, it's for like this documentary I'm doing," and then he had to make a movie out of it. Like,
he had to keep it going. Yeah.
He had to like find funding. He's like reaching out. He's like, I don't know. I'm just in a rough spot. I could really use some help, right? Anyway,
I think we'll never know his true motives, but
I think it was money, right?
That scene. True. I mean, sure.
Yeah, I honestly think he just like he saw like that market fit, like that we were talking about, like really good time for this, and he was like, "Hey, you know what people would eat up like McDonald's? A documentary about how bad McDonald's is. It's perfect."
So it's funny too. He mentions the lawsuits that was actually the impetus for him starting this, is that a couple of teenage girls were suing McDonald's because they had gained weight, whatever.
Yeah.
And they treat that with such disdain, which again is so symptomatic of that time in culture where people were like, Americans, they just sue their way out of everything. Nowadays, like, I mean, people they still have that like frivolous lawsuit, whatever bug. People still cling to that, but like, at least people are a little bit more culturally aware of like, lawsuits are one of the only ways that people can kind of get like redress for harm in this country. And, you know, actually it's a good thing that we can sue big companies. Like, it's not, you know.
I think the biggest, like, I want to say at least turning point and mentality around that, for me at least, and I think other people as well, when they learn of it, is the woman who got burned by the McDonald's hot coffee. Yeah. Yes. When you first hear about it, you're like, oh, that's kind of dumb, it's ridiculous, it's absurd, yada yada. How hot could it have really been? And then it like fused her labia together. Yeah, it's like severe second, third degree burns, like just horrendous stuff. And you're like, oh fuck. Yeah. Why the fuck are they serving coffee that hot? That's insane. A, it should never happen anywhere. Yeah. B, she should obviously be compensated for it. Like, so like once you hear about that, it's like, oh, okay, obviously that's so far from being ridiculous. But like McDonald's ran a smear campaign against her. Like people still fall for it. Yeah, and it's crazy. Just a couple of weeks ago, Starbucks got hit with a lawsuit for the same thing and had to pay out compensatory damages for hot tea. It was like the lid on a tea in the drive-thru broke or like fell off or something. Yeah. You don't want to spill that tea, sis. It did the same. This is a serious. I'm sorry. That long form audio. I'm sorry. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Bad taste there. Ricky, for the Oscar, we're gonna be Oscar nominated for this podcast. Babe, I need that Oscar. I gotta go eat more McDonald's. I'm sorry I can't eat your dog shit artichoke dish. I gotta go eat more McDonald's.
Just because I don't want to impugn the girlfriend too much, she is a more normal like influencer type now. She is no longer vegan. I read her essay.
Good for her.
She seems fine and normal. Not that she's no longer vegan is good for her, but yeah. I mean, she had good reasons, but
I'm not making fun of her. I'm making fun of his interactions with her more than anything, right? I think being vegan is fine. Great, even if you're into that.
Yeah.
But that food did look bad. Like, they couldn't record anything about it. Like, let's be...
Well, they were probably like 22 years old making... I don't know how old he actually was when he made this, but I mean, he they probably didn't... Whatever, who knows how to cook. But so, anyway, coming back to when he first pukes.
Yeah.
He's eating like... I ran the numbers, okay? He's eating like 1,000 calories, maybe 1,300 calories. Yeah. Like... That's a lot. That's half
a large meal.
Whatever estimate.
Yeah.
But that's a large meal. That is not like a disgusting amount of food. You know what I mean?
Especially for a guy of his size. Like we talked about, very tall.
Right.
Like,
if he's really 6'2". If he's really... When they said 6'2", I was like, he's not... Is he 6'2"? Maybe he's not 6'2".
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't really clock that, but...
I just... He seems like the type who'd lie. If he's gonna lie about everything else.
Yeah.
You might as well add another inch.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, and then, like, as they start talking more, and they're poking at his belly later in the movie,
it's crazy.
He's obviously just bloated, right? It's like, he probably ate, like, an hour or so ago, and, your stomach's gonna get a little bloated.
It's digesting. Yeah.
And, like, they're like, oh my god, he put on 10 pounds in a week! In under a week, he put on 10 pounds! And they're poking his stomach. They're like, look at this, this will happen to you! This will real life happen to you if you eat McDonald's every day! And it's like, that's a insane, amount of... I don't know. I mean, you hear it all the time, calories in, calories out. And, there's more to it than that. But also, he had to have been... just imbibing crazy amounts of calories. And alcohol does have a decent number of calories in it.
Yeah. For him to gain 10 pounds in a week, he would have had to eat 35,000 extra calories than he normally would in a week, right?
Yeah.
If we're just going with the whatever calories in, calories out, which, like you said, is not
it's not the end all be all, but, it's a decent approximation,
also,
right? Like, it helps, yeah.
Yeah. If you eat, 3,500 extra calories, you don't immediately the next day put on a pound.
No.
That's not how that works
either.
Yeah. So it's like, either he was already trending up, and this was, and part of that was there, or he was also drinking off screen. We know that too. Maybe he was going on a month-long binge of that as well, and this was hiding part of it. Who knows? But that math does not work out from just eating McDonald's. Even if he was eating, those huge meals, if he ate 3 of those every single day, which we know he wasn't, he's eating, 3,000 calories, 3,500 calories a day, let's say, average, so about 1,500 more than normal. He's not maxing out at 10 pounds a week. Fuck you. Eat shit and die. Actually, you're dead, so it's fine. But
honestly, his resting caloric intake is probably closer to 2,500, right? Which they mention in there.
Right.
And
if he's really 6'2",
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
If he's actually 6'2", 185, because
I should have been the fucking Watergate newsbreaker for this. God damn it! If I hadn't been 5 years old when this came out.
Well, I mean, just comparatively, right? I know. That I'm around 5 foot beep and
6, and by 5 foot beep you mean 6'5".
Yeah.
Meant by that.
But I need between 1,800 and 2,000, right? And it's I can be very loose about that, and it doesn't really affect me. But when I was in high school, I was dangerously skinny. They were hey, you really need to eat more, you need to gain more weight, yada yada. So I tried doing not the exact same thing, but a similar diet where I was eating a lot. I was eating more takeout and stuff, and I was just eating more in general. Yeah. And it's it is tough.
It's hard to gain weight if you it can be very hard. Yeah.
It's also tough to lose weight, right? I've been on both sides of it. I understand both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
But both sides fucking suck, and like
Ricky, both sides Rudy.
Yeah. That's. there's a you know what, I'm leaving any joke I could make about that to the Kurt Russell episodes, and we're just moving on, okay? But yeah. So like, that's another part of the reason why I was like, this movie is bullshit, and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes it even more insane that it's like taught in schools as like fact, right?
Totally. Yeah. If anything, it should be used as like here's how to identify propaganda.
Yeah.
In schools, like for 12th graders, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because the math is not mathing. Again, just when he threw up, I was like, oh, this is like even more disingenuous than I remember.
Oh yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
One of the interviews, I just want to say, which I don't know. I know we're all over the place. I'm going to keep us all over the place.
That's okay.
The one interview with the guy, Mr. Baskins, or like he like worked.
Oh, that guy was crazy too. That guy was insane.
He was literally talking. He's like, oh, like yeah, like I would eat ice cream every day. I was eating like so much ice cream, yada yada, and like he's not a large guy, right? Like he's not heavyset at all.
Yeah.
Like this is like a fairly skinny dude just like talking about this. It's like, all right, well, like either you had a complete lifestyle turnaround, and judging by just like how healthy he looked at the time, that didn't really seem to be the case, right? It's not like he had suddenly become a paragon of health and like he was like, you know, like working out all the time and he was suddenly like very healthy. It's like, no, dude, like I think I don't think that the negative health effects of that were ever very like meaningful or apparent in your life. I think you're just like saying the shit now at this point.
Well, also for him to be like, yeah, and all of these people that I know that are, you know, senior leadership of fucking fast food chains and like whatever huge multinational brands, and they all had these like whatever coronary bypass surgery and like whatever open heart surgery at young ages. Could that possibly be because of the fucking stress of being the CEO? Like I imagine that is a high stress job. It's like maybe we're not thinking of the right sample size here, dude.
It's also
maybe
like, I mean, like as far as like comorbidity rates, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Like people who have a more expensive lifestyle, or like like those who have money. Basically what I'm trying to say, those who have money, A, have better healthcare, and B, have better quality of lives in terms of like the food that they have access to and like what they're eating on a daily basis. And in terms of, like,
they're
their
not
free time
only
for
eating
exercise,
ice cream
yada, yada.
as the CEO.
Yeah. It's like a kid's understanding of it. It's like, oh, like the CEO of McDonald's, they must only eat McDonald's all the time. If they have bad health, it's because McDonald's is bad. It's like, dude, this is kindergarten logic, man, and you're making a movie with it, bro? Like, what's happening here?
That's a great point. Well, and so many of the people he named are really, he's like, all these people in my family have like, you know, these crazy heart surgery. It's like, maybe you guys just have bad hearts. I don't know what to tell you. Like genetics, man. He's like,
that's my great-grandfather, he never had ice cream until he stepped foot in America at 53 years old when he started his ice cream company. 4 gastric bypasses, and you're going to tell me that ice cream is safe? Yeah, all right, man. All of us have had horrible heart problems, and you're going to tell me ice cream's safe. And it's like, well, I mean... Yeah. Let's wait a second, buddy. Yeah. And they mentioned in the film,
also,
the doctors are like, you know, good genetics, that'll take you pretty far, man. Like, it's like,
Yeah. I looked this up when he said that, too, because I was like, man, he had heart surgery at 50-something years old. That's kind of... And I looked up Burt Baskin. He had died, but... wait, where is it? Was it Baskin Robbins? Am I making that up?
I thought it was Baskin Robbins. Yeah, I did say that earlier. Maybe I'm leading you astray, giving you red herrings.
No. Yeah, Irv Robbins lived to be 90. Oh, it was Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's was the one he mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Those bitches are still alive. Like they're fine. Yeah. If anything, it's probably the drugs that they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. Notable stoners, Ben and Jerry, but anyway, yeah. Ben's still alive, Jerry also still alive. Crazy. There's just so much sus information in this documentary. It's like hard to even parse out. Let's take a second to talk about because, right, we both came into this probably with our hackles up a little bit. We both knew this was going to be bad.
Yeah, well aware.
I tried to also think of it as, like, the form, or, like, as a movie. It's somewhat entertaining, especially the first half, I would say, is, like, watchable.
Yeah.
But it is quickly so grating and, like, annoying.
Yeah.
It's just, like, if this came out as a video essay on YouTube today...
Oh, people would shit all over it.
No splash.
Yeah.
It would, yeah, if anything, it would just get people, like, making fun of it because it's so... Obviously, it's, like, dated in style, but there's nothing, like, revolutionary about this documentarian, like, or documentary style. Like, it's so many montages of just, like, inane bullshit. Like, the music, really obnoxious. Just tons and tons of, like, headless fat bodies walking around, which is always so funny to see. Yeah. That's such a 2000s thing.
That stuff's always weird to me, man. Where it's just like you're just like recording people out on the street. I don't know. It's like
yeah. But it's so vapid and like completely uninteresting. I wonder how influential it was, or if it was just kind of aping the style of the time as far as documentaries go. Like kind of like poppy, like in your face, like post 9/11, like we're about to go to war, America, like kind of a thing. I don't know. It's
which is weird because it kind of goes against the idea of like American exceptionalism, right? Which is generally like prevalent around those times, I guess.
Yeah. But it is American exception. Like this movie does have an American exceptionalism problem too. It's just not in a positive way.
That's true.
Like this is a liberal, and I use that with like dripping vitriol.
You use that liberally.
View. Yeah. Kind of viewpoint, right? Of like, oh, it's, this corporation is bad. They're providing, like, it's better to be healthy, like whatever type things. But like we said, it's kind of taking this shitty attitude toward corporate responsibility and lawsuits, but then also, America's the fattest nation and it's so different. What's different here? And like you mentioned in the beginning, like, oh, we're so fat and yet there's McDonald's everywhere. Like maybe this is, maybe this isn't just a uniquely American problem.
He interviews someone from France. And she says, he's like, oh, like, do you like eat fast food here? And she goes, no, it tastes different. Like, that's it. That's like where they end it. It's funny because like, there's a lot of routes that this documentary could have gone down that would have been interesting. Like, how does American fast food differ from other countries' fast foods? How does Americans' restaurant sort of, I don't want to say ideologies, but like food in general with like served within restaurants change? And like, he sort of focuses on in schools, like how schools food is different. And I honestly think a lot of that is what drove like the Michelle Obama era changes towards the food in schools, which is sort of a mixed bag, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's, one of the experts that he talks to is like, well, it can't be the food we're eating at home because we've always eaten at home.
Yeah.
And we've always had restaurants, so it can't be the restaurants. It's like, you think the food people are eating at home hasn't changed in 100 years?
It's like, oh, the TV dinner didn't revolutionize how Americans process food? Okay, sure, buddy. Why not? Like, I'll believe that.
Yeah.
The 1950s were not a cultural tipping point between people like spending time with others versus just staying inside and eating food in front of the TV. Sure, man, believe that.
Yeah. And I mean, he kind of gives like a token mention of like, oh, we spend more time in our cars, we don't walk, but he kind of abandons that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And like, there's no
the car manufacturers got to him.
Yeah, well, there's no, like, society-level analysis of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, oh, we're just fat asses who... people, like, this is the common thing I remember hearing a lot as a kid, which is, like, take the stairs instead of the elevator. And it's like, you think that's going to make a fucking difference? Like, that's not going to make a real difference.
It's the...
Maybe, go ahead.
It's the paper straw versus plastic straw thing, right? It's like, okay, like... It's like, I mean, that choice is not actually affecting the bottom line at all, right? At the same time, right, and like again, it's all like the corporate sort of corporate versus personal responsibility, I guess. which I don't know. I think both again, I'm playing both sides here, right? Both viewpoints are kind of dumb, right? Because yeah, you can do things in your life towards being more sustainable, but I think what is often advertised as like, oh, like this is more sustainable, this is how you can help, isn't really helpful at all. And like probably has a net zero effect versus the like, oh, well, actually, like the top 100 companies are like produce 90% of pollution, and it's like, right, but like, what do those top 100 companies do, right? Like, they're not just making the pollution for fun, right? So like,
they do actually. They're pulling barrels of oil out of the ground and then dumping them directly into the ocean.
Yeah.
And twirling their mustache while they do it.
They just get plastic straws and just dumping them off of boats. Recording videos like, this is your fault. Anyway.
Yeah. You're not wrong. It is this. That's kind of what I was like as I went in, and he did mention the, is there a corporate responsibility, like kind of thesis, even though that's not, it doesn't really go anywhere. Like the thesis of this movie is very muddled and neutered. But yeah, I was like, oh, maybe there is something good and like right in this, and really there isn't. It's a completely, like a complete non-starter of an argument.
I'd argue that the like thesis statement of this movie is just that like fat is bad, right? Like not just being fat, but like
what people thought.
But like fat in food is being bad, and then like being fat makes you a bad person, and like they sort of hinted that, like because he's like when they're talking about the schools, and they're like, oh yeah,
there's no hinting.
Well, there's no hinting. It's they directly say it. I mean, but not just in the ways that they like talk about it, but also like when they're talking about like kids in school, and they're like, yeah, they don't have recess anymore, and now all kids are lazy and stupid, and like they just eat so much. It's like, really, like, come on.
Which we'll talk about the Jared Fogle of Subway of it all in a moment, but before we talk about that, that
was a jump scare
in that scene. Yeah. It was crazy, yeah, and it was worse than like it could have been.
Yeah,
the fact that he's speaking to kids, but then I mean, setting aside the gross implications of Jared from Subway, the scene where he's talking to the mom and the daughter on camera, and the mom is like humiliating this like 10-year-old girl on camera, for a movie, being like, yeah, she really struggles with her weight. She's like a completely normal pubescent girl, like she's not. I mean. It's like the idea that, first off, that you should be so hard on your body during puberty when that is the most, like, influential time mentally for a person to, like, be ingraining these ideas of, like, my relationship with food and my body as it's changing. And also, like, your body's not the same before and after puberty, and it's definitely not the same during and after puberty. So, like, why are we spending all this time worrying about a specific, outcome and not the inputs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I mean, also,
but yeah,
like, you're her mom, dude. If she's
protect this kid,
right? Protect this kid. But if she's struggling with food, maybe I don't know, like help her relationship with food instead of just shaming her and like putting her in a documentary. Totally. Just weird behavior, right?
Yeah.
Like
100%. Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder how many parents of like. Our parents' age, because we were probably about the age of that girl when this came out, more or less, maybe a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Like, people our parents' age and like that era of parenting, I don't see them recognizing the harm that was done to people our age from the parenting that they did from being a kid during that time. Like, it's so, and we're seeing it again. Like the body shaming, fat phobia, ED shit is like everywhere now. So it's like worse than ever.
I have seen people say that that's all right, and like you might sound crazy for this one, but like that, and I mean they say like within like a fascist government, which I don't know, not going to touch that, but as the government does become more,
Ricky's like, I'm both sides. I'm both Ricky, so I'm not going to criticize.
I am
Trump.
both siding. This is all. I will criticize the Trump regime, but either way,
Bolshevik Ricky.
Yeah. They were just saying that like as the government tries to, or like as like culture and the government gets like more like right wing, they start to focus more on like purity of things, and it's like, oh, like purity of the body. Yeah. So like you have to like look a certain way, you have to act and dress a certain way. And then it's like purity of art. Like only some things are art. Like, oh, like it has to look a very certain way, and that is art. Like it has to be like a shitty AI fucking castle that doesn't make sense in the real world, but it looks pretty, doesn't it? That's good. This is good, actually. Things made by humans, bad. Fucking dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think in overall, we are seeing just like a reactionary backlash to the last 15-ish years of body positivity, you know? And feminism more largely. And so I'm not surprised.
A more accepting culture, and maybe kinder culture in general, which
well, and I think that there's something to be said with what you're saying of like purity and like something aspirational,
right?
You know, as we are, I've talked before on this podcast about when I would do Big Brothers Big Sisters, and my little at the time was like, he loved early 2000s pop.
Yeah.
Loved Britney Spears. Had a Britney Spears shirt, you know, kind of thing. And I had talked to him about like body image and things like that, because he would talk kind of badly about his body and like, you know, talk about how being fat's bad, whatever. And like, it just, over the time that we would talk about these things, he would kind of, it became clear he was that like unattainable body image stuff from the early 2000s, like the Victoria's Secret bombshell, the runway shows, and like that unattainable,
where you can like see so their skinny, bones like through their skin. You see the white starting to poke out. It's like, wait a second,
I think that has become the new like aspirational image for a lot of kids, or like not necessarily those images specifically, but they like the unattainable aspect of it, because we, you know, we've had such a, I don't think it's ever been good. Like the 2010s were never like great with body stuff, but like there was a different kind of set of beauty standards for a bit that seemed to be a little bit more accepting, a little bit more like real focused, even though like obviously like the Kardashian of it all, you know, at the very least those were not tiny women. Like those were not the skinniest, you know, like you said,
they're not little women
poking out, like. And so I think as we're seeing a backlash to that, it's kind of boomeranging back to the early 2000s, like they do a montage in this fucking stupid fucking movie of like skinny girls from magazines as the teenage girl is talking. She's like an employee at McDonald's. Yeah. She's like 16. And she's like, yeah, I try to lose weight. It can be really hard. You know, it's just always really tough when you see a girl and you want to be like her. And it's just so cruel the way that they edit these, like bodies from, you know, girls from magazines over this woman this girl while she talks. It's like, it's just so symptomatic of the time where it's like, we're forcing you to see this imagery, but really, we understand it's hard to be a girl. Like it's, you know, you shouldn't want to lose weight, even though this fucking documentary's whole thesis is that being fat is bad. But really, your body image, that's tough, you know? Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah. Like, yeah. I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah. You're not wrong for that.
Rest in peace. Coming back to, just let's start at the beginning for a moment here. The Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut song, that shit slaps. That is a great song.
Oh yeah, I was thinking we could do that for the outro, actually.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yes, you're right. You should sing that for the outro. Yeah. All the other music in this sucks. Like again, it's just that like annoying early 2000s.
Whoa! Like, there was the one Ronald McDonald song which slapped.
Which one was that?
I don't know. They do like. They're like, Ronald McDonald. I don't know. I'm butchering that. It was a little jaunty. It was a little jaunty with it.
Okay. Fair. Well, it's just, the like cultural landscape of like early 2000s rocker, like bleh, like the bleh of this movie is so crazy. And
there's a lot of bleh.
Yeah.
He bleh out the window.
The music. They open when when they're doing the credits and they open with Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Oh, yeah.
That just says it all.
Yeah.
Like, God. Anyway.
Also, I mean, Queen did not mean that ironically, right? Like, he... I mean, it's very funny that they would use that when it's like, yeah, man, like,
yeah, to be ironic.
He's into that, bro. Like, you got a problem, dog? Like, what's going on? I think you've misread the room here, Mr. Spurlock.
Speaking, just kind of continuing on the disingenuousness of this whole thing. Anytime where you're having, like, oh, the common people are so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
These kids don't know who Jesus is, but they know who Ronald McDonald is. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? This is so pointless. Like, of course a kid's not going to recognize Jesus, like, at 8 years old or whatever. What do you want? Like,
anytime.
I'm sure you can find any kids who aren't.
Right. Anytime that you have to filter people out of a crowd, and, like, you have to take the 10th take to find a kid that goes, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, right.
It's like, all right, well, like, maybe we're not being the most, honest or, intellectually genuine here, right? Like,
yeah. It's very Michael Moore-esque.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's sort of similar, yeah.
Because, especially when he goes to the Capitol building and he has the people reciting the pledge, and then he asks them to recite the jingle for, like, the Big Mac, like the, whatever, special sauce, I don't know what, but, and then everybody's like, oh, like, that's supposed to be this big gotcha of, like, oh, these people who probably haven't fucking said the Pledge of Allegiance in 30 years since they were in school.
Right, yeah.
Versus a jingle that they probably have heard every day, or once a week on the radio. Like, it's disingenuous. And all it is just saying, like, aren't the common people dumb? Don't we hate, aren't you smarter than them by recognizing how bad this is?
Right, and it's so crazy that, again, it's like, he tries to sort of, like, make the claim, he makes the claim that he's making a claim of, like, oh, is this personal versus corporate responsibility, right? But he's not actually making that claim.
But he doesn't actually.
Right, like, he's saying it's all personal responsibility, because, like, they talk about how much, like, the advertisers spend, right? And he's talking to lobbyists, right? And, like, they talk about, like, the laws that get passed to help, or they don't even talk about the laws that do or do not get passed to help out these business practices, right? But they mention that they are there, and it's like, why are you not exploring that? But you're exploring the personal, like, responsibility aspect. It's
because it's cheap,
right?
Because he's a cheap fucking, like, rando who probably couldn't get access to that many people who would actually, like, have history or, like, analysis about those topics, and it's easy to find people on the street to talk about McDonald's. Like,
at the very least, Michael Moore was, like, asking, like constituents of the House who had voted for the war, like, hey, why aren't you sending your son? Huh? Like, that takes balls. That's like actually, like, at least he's fucking, he's up in their faces. He's actually asking, like, maybe not genuine questions, but, like, slightly more genuine questions, right? Rather than being like, is it because of the corporations or is it because of the person? Well, $2 trillion spent on ads and you're an idiot for believing them. Like, dude, what?
One day we will watch a good documentary on this show.
Eventually, right? There has to be one out there, huh? Like,
there are good ones. Something just sad. The play places. We used to
bring them back. We gotta bring them back. I still know of one.
It's so crazy.
I still know of one.
Really?
Yeah. It was the childhood one that was, like, right
Is it at the Kremlin?
No. No. The Kremlin. Yeah, that's actually, they have not busts. Oh, what are they? What are the gremlins that
gargoyles?
Are in stone? Yes, they have gargoyles of me, like, guarding the
play
palace.
Wow, I cannot believe gargoyles is the right pull.
Yeah, because it's the like the stone stone gargoyles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah. The idea that they're marketing to kids, and that's, like, a unique evil, and now it's like
kids are the only market.
Well,
I think now
they aren't.
Unironically, I think kids are, like, one of the biggest market shares in the world, because it's like, I mean, they
well,
just
they are.
Yeah, it's like
that was why music got so big, was because kids had spending money for the first time. They were able to leave the home, like in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
It was like a big deal that, there was this like huge market of kids who had just spending money and no bills, so they could go buy records and whatever.
I mean, that's why streaming is like a service, or like specifically in regards to Twitch streamers.
What I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No. Like McDonald's does not have mascots anymore. There really aren't. Like, we don't, like, food companies don't do that as much.
So they I don't recall why. There was something about like Ronald McDonald, where it's because it was associated with their cancer foundation. That they've stopped using Ronald McDonald because they were either embroiled in lawsuits or about to be embroiled in lawsuits that were saying that since Ronald McDonald, the Ronald McDonald Foundation specifically, is a cancer research foundation, by advertising using the mascot for this cancer research foundation, you're like advertising very disingenuously, right? And so they stopped using him, and they're back to using like Grimace and the others.
Is that source? I'm curious about that.
That's just what I heard. Maybe it's wrong.
Yeah, I heard. Hold, please.
Holding.
We fact check.
Holding.
I'm the fucking all the President's Men. I am all of the President's Men right here. This is me.
You're one angry juror, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You're one juror in a fucking group of 12 angry men.
It's true. I'm one juror short of a jury. I don't know, something like that.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Ronald McDonald is a clown character used as the primary mascot of the McDonald's fast food restaurant chain. Oh, I like this Japanese McDonald Ronald that they have on the Wikipedia page. It's cute.
Did you ever see the Japanese McDonald's ads? Like,
no.
Like Ronald and the kid eating. They're cute. It's nice. It's like a whole family. And like, I don't know. Ronald looks much less like weird demon clown and more like friendly clown guy. I don't know.
Let's go to history here. No, he's still around.
Okay. I just haven't seen him.
Corporate accountability.
I heard about that and I was like, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you just heard some bullshit on the internet and then
I ran with it and I started spreading it around, so it was also more bullshit on the internet. Yeah.
Wikipedia says Ronald McDonald has made fewer appearances since 2016 due to 2016's clown sightings.
Oh, yes.
However, as of 2017, he was still appearing at live events and on social media.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That other people were saying that. They were like, "Oh, this is bullshit. It's because of the 2016 clown thing."
Many people are
saying this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The original trademark application for Ronald is actually scary. I'm not afraid here. Look, jump scare. I'm about to scare the shit out of Ricky when he looks at the camera.
What the fuck?
Maybe I'll make that the episode cover art.
I don't think anybody would watch the entire episode if that was the I wouldn't personally.
True.
You know what you should do? You should make that the cover art, and you should do the, what is it? What's the alt art when you flip black white? Not mirror, not inverse. Inverse, I guess. Inverse coloring.
Yeah.
Just spam it.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
No. Something else that we haven't talked about, just like the artificiality of this whole thing. Obviously, like, the entire endeavor is artificial, right? We know he was a drinker. We understand that some of these results seem to be inflated. The experts are dumb. But why is he eating and drinking? He has like 5 creamers for his coffee at one point. Like, he's getting, like, these enormous meals. And I guess part of it might be that he's also ordering for whoever he's with. Although, I'd be curious to know,
no, I think
are those people also subject to this?
I think he's just pumping those numbers up. I think that's all.
It's crazy, yeah. It's, like, why is nobody thinking, of course he's gonna be, like, sick and feel shitty and, like, gain weight at the end of this if he's eating, like, 6 Big Macs in a day. Like, no one would eat, like, it's a false premise to begin with. Like, setting aside all of the ethical problems, like, you're not getting anything meaningful out of this because you're like, of course, no one's going to eat this every day. Like, no, everyone knows to eat something else besides McDonald's every day.
The dietitian that he goes to says straight up, like, hey, because, like, she has him, like, record his, whatever it is, like, every meal, right? And
logs. And, his MyFitnessPal logs.
Yeah, it essentially is his MyFitnessPal log. Cursed, by the way. But
let me see.
It's he's just doing that, and she goes like, "Hey, you're like over double the intake that we recommended. Could you maybe sub some stuff out?" And then like it cuts to him,
and he's like, "No."
Yeah, it cuts to him in a voiceover, and he goes, "Oh, subbing out a sundae for a yogurt sounds like it might make sense, but actually, only the small 5-ounce yogurt has less calories than their strawberry sundae, and a large 12-ounce yogurt with granola actually has way more calories than their small fudge sundae."
Granola, like, a source of protein and fiber?
Yeah,
like,
it's
of
like,
course.
Dude, what the... Like, I think it's pretty, like, blatantly obvious to anyone that, like, eating something that has the same number of calories, but, like, less sugar, less fat, and, like, just overall, like, a better, like, macro nutrient profile, like, that actually has fiber, and, like, maybe any other nutrients that your body might, like, appreciate, is going to be the better milk option, right? Like, even if it is higher in calorie. But no. Higher calories is worse because more calories is bad because it makes you fat. And, like, that's, like, again, like, that's the fucking thesis of this film. And it's stupid, and it's dumb, and it doesn't work.
You know, there have been several attempts from other people, like documentarians and, like, whatever, researchers to, like, replicate these results, and people never can. And, in fact, there have been several times where people have done a similar experiment where they're like, okay, I'm going to limit my calories to whatever this number, and like I'm only going to eat at McDonald's or whatever place, and it'll prove, right, that you can like lose weight and whatever. And like, I wish that there was a robust follow-up in that way where people would, because like, right, the other side of that, right, you can eat any food, and the numbers game of it all is what can lead you to lose weight. Yeah. But the numbers game changes. Like, the math changes over time. Yeah. Like, if you are eating at a deficit for a long time, even if you're eating really healthy food or really unhealthy food, doesn't matter. Like, those numbers of, like, how fast you'll lose weight, like, those things will change.
Yeah, it's going to stop being a deficit. Yeah.
As your body adapts.
Yeah.
Right. So it would, you know, there could be something instructive about this if there was a companion piece. If some intrepid journalist would just break the scandal 20 years ago about this and make a companion piece that would win the Oscar.
I think it...
And solve...
Honestly, I think a lot of it... I think now, specifically, there's at least a few sort of, like, influencers out there who are... I don't want to say giving it, like, a better name to these sorts of, like, things, but, like, they're being much more realistic about it, right? I'm going to name drop 2 people. Sam Sulek, who's, like, just this cracked bodybuilder. He's, like, unhealthily muscular. And...
Looking this person up.
Look up Sam Sulek. Look at him. Just a
specimen. This picture of Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
Sam Sulek.
But he's like, mentioned before. Ooh. He's like, yeah, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can eat McDonald's all day if you want, as long as you're hitting your calories and your macros. Like, it does not matter at all, like, what it is that you're eating, right? And he even talks about, like, eating stuff like that, like, in his personal life, and he's like, yeah, no, like I'll go to McDonald's, I'll polish off a big ass meal, like, it's good. And especially, I feel like it's important for, like, especially fitness influencers or people in that sphere to, like, have that sort of, I guess, openness or like honesty with their audience. Because a lot of them are like, oh, like, you have to eat perfectly, you have to yada yada.
Chicken and rice and broccoli.
Right. And it's like, well, I mean, you don't have to do that though, right? Like, you can enjoy what you're eating still.
I wish that, like, the discussions around, like, the shape of your body and, like, influencing the shape of your body based on what you are eating. I wish that we thought of that more like body modifications in the way that we think of like tattoos and piercings and plastic surgery, because I think that those things are just as like eating a certain diet to influence the way that you look. And to be clear, this is from like ED, pilled, bulimia maxing, anorexia. What's the third one? I can't think of. What's the...
anorexia cell.
Pilled, maxing. Yes, yes, thank you. Anorexia cell. Like, that's a terrible thing. Yeah. That is, like, bad to think that way. And, like, that's a terrible way to think about food. And so, you know, I wish that people had that. Because, like, there is such a thing as a healthy diet. McDonald's is not a healthy diet to eat every day, right? But if you're talking about it in the context of weight, and, like, yeah, like, these things are not, you should not be demonized. And, like, you should not think, like, oh, if I eat this food, like, my body will look this way, and, like, I have to follow this influencer's fucking quinoa and, you know, whatever beef tallow diet in order to look like them. Like, yeah. Anyway. This is soapbox the episode. Super soapbox.
Yeah.
Might be.
It is. I don't know. It is just crazy because, like, even like older lifters, like you go back and like you watch their videos and, I don't know. Like I've seen a lot of like, again, like just these like specimens, right, where they're just like massive, and like because these guys are eating like 6K calories a day, but like they need it, right? That's their upkeep at that point.
Right.
And like they'll be like people will be like, dude, how do you eat that much? And like a lot of it, they're like, oh, like you have to drink calories at a certain point. But like some of the guys are straight up, they're like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'll go to McDonald's and just like, I was gonna say drop $40, but like that's like now that's maybe not as much as it was.
That's like a
then.
regular amount of food.
Yeah. That's like a normal amount of food for like 2-ish people, I guess. Like maybe you could eat decently. But like. At the time, when with dollar menu stuff, right? Like they would just be like crashing down these like burgers and nuggets and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like they're like, yeah, no, it's just like some of the stuff has like just a ton of protein, and like people are like, oh, but like it's fried and it's processed and it's yada yada, it's yada yada.
Yeah,
it's like all right, like right, obviously they're not eating like raw or like grass-fed venison, you know, like yeah, it's not the ideal like food, right? Like it's not, and it's also like not what they would be eating 300 years ago or whatever, which would probably be gruel. It's not what they would be eating like 10,000 years ago, I guess. Like in nature, sure, fine, fucking also whatever, gruel. Right?
Yeah. Birdseed gruel.
Birdseed gruel, some berries. And you know, maybe some grass-fed venison, right? Or like gazelles on the plain, fucking whatever, man, right? I don't know what
you could not get your macros and like.
I don't know.
Great pull. Isn't venison like notoriously lean and shitty? Like, isn't venison like not actually really that good for you, or like not a good source of protein?
It's a decent source of protein.
I mean, it's protein.
It's a pretty good source of protein. It's lean. It's not bad for you. It's gamey. It's got like a weird
not bad for you, but just not. Yeah, like not the ideal. Like.
Yeah. I could see that.
Anyway. Yeah. No, I mean, we're in a time of crisis when it comes to fucking food and body image. Yeah. Like, this was the thing that... Did I tell you? I might cut this. This is...
Uncomfortable. Is it going?
89? That's when the thing was made? 1989?
Was that close?
No. I mean, you were in the right decade.
Okay.
You were pretty much as far from the right time
82?
as you could be within one decade. 82.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But this was like the straw that broke the camel's back with.
Oh, yeah.
Don't laugh at me because I said the thing.
I'm sorry. Go on.
It's okay. You're fine. Because she would just like, she had always been making super fat phobic remarks, or like she would allude to super fat phobic things, but then she like went on this rant about a movie, like a documentary by a fat journalist that they, like, the movie theater had gotten as a like, hey, we're touring our movie, like, come, you know, let us know if you want to distribute this, basically, and like run a screening. And she had this like, it's so stupid, why would you name your movie that, like, what's the point of this, just to make a movie about fat people, like, it's so, you know. And it's like just like complete hate. The hateration was like off the charts. And yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I think I have to go right now immediately. And that was the last time I saw her in person. I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with you anymore. Anyway. So
yeah.
I'll cut that, but...
Well, since you're cutting stuff, continue to cut this.
Hell payment!
Anyway. You know what else goes to the shitter?
What does? My shit? After I eat a fuck ton of McDonald's? I have to drop a big fat dookie? Yeah. Anyway, what's up?
What is your go-to McDonald's order?
I don't really have one.
We didn't talk about food enough in this episode.
I don't really have one.
You don't have a go-to?
Because I just never went there enough.
You're a Papa John's guy. Am I right? You're like a P. John's fan.
Yes.
You hate gays.
What?
Yeah. You hate the gays?
Why would you say that? Does Papa John hate the gays?
Oh no, Papa John is racist.
Yeah, Papa John is racist. Yeah.
Right, my bad.
Chick-fil-A hates the
Papa
gays.
John.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, since we're just airing out everybody's business, did I tell you about the conversation where I was with and Christopher, and she was telling us like this like investigation into how Chick-fil-A is actually not that homophobic, and actually it's classist to shit on Chick-fil-A because poor people have to eat fast food. That was like, yeah.
Interesting. Ironically or unironically?
She was unironic about it. And I was like, that is... She's like, this is like a journalist who like did the research about the donations that they made and how they weren't donating anymore. I was like, I don't fucking believe you even for a second.
I hate it when people infantilize poor people and they're like, oh, well, like, they can't cook at home and like, they can't make good decisions. Obviously, that's why they're poor. So they just eat fast food all the time, which makes them dumb and poor
and they have to,
and fat.
and they have to put their kid in front of Coco Melon all day.
Yeah,
still, because they're a single mom or like,
And it's all they can afford. Yeah. They can't afford daycares. So they have to put them in front of Coco Melon. Like, it's the plight of the working man. You should feel bad. Like, I don't know, man.
It's so and because the logical conclusion of that is never like, and that's why we need to do more to support these people so that they have the options to make, or like,
so it's easier to we need to punish them. We have to take that shit away from, like, it's the SNAP benefits allowing them to drink soda, right? Buy soda. It's like, oh, they're going after that. They're like, oh, like, we need to cut that. Like, poor people shouldn't be able to enjoy food ever. We should send them rice and beans.
Oh, see.
And it's like, oh.
I meant more like you bring up Coco Melon, and well, this is used by poor people because of they don't have daycare or whatever the fuck stupid argument, and so that we can't do anything about Coco Melon. We cannot stop it from existing. Right. We can't
we can't stop them from
about this bigger error. Yeah.
We can't stop them from running literal like CIA tests to see like how focused they can get people. They do that, right? They have tests, and then they flash stuff nearby to see if it like draws attention, and they like judge based off of the person's eye movements or like the baby's eye movements. I don't know what who they're testing on, right?
I'm doing eye movement desensitization and reprocessing experiments on my baby using Coco Melon. You should watch The Parallax View. That's a whole movie about government propaganda. Anyway.
Let's talk about food. So I did once have a McDonald's order back when I would go like a little bit early college, and I believe it was because it was the T1 order, right? And he would order off the dollar menu. I believe it was 2 bacon cheeseburgers, whatever the $1 fry was. Like I think it was a medium. It might have been a small. And then a chocolate chip pie. And then I think he also got other stuff, but like that was about as much as I could eat. And then like a lot of times I would get either a shake or like just like a Coca-Cola or something. But yeah,
interesting.
I lived across from a Burger King when I first moved up here, and their pies. If you, I would go there a decent bit, and like. One of the workers I got kind of cool with because like I would go there late at night when I had the munchies, and they'd be like, "Listen, the move is," they were like, "I'm going to grab one for you. The move is next time you come in here, if it's not me, ask for our like Oreo like frozen Oreo pies, right? And ask us to get you one from the back because it's just like ice cream. It's just like a weird like ice cream thing that they let thaw out. And yeah, it is better. It is better like mostly frozen, right? Like you don't want there to be ice crystals on it, but like when it's like because it's like a mousse almost. It's like a chocolate mousse. It's so good. It was killer. That shit.
Interesting.
Really nice.
Burger King was never in my rotation. Like, never a regular in the stable for me. It was always T-Bell,
we were right
some
across
McDonald's,
the street, man.
And
because like I lived.
I know where. I know where you are.
Yeah, it was that exact one. And we would get like the flyers, right? That they would just drop at our doors.
Oh
and
yeah,
so much in savings, and it's like, oh shit. Well, like I'm kind of hungry, you know.
I'd be stupid not to eat here.
yeah. Well, it'd be like after work, and I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like still hungry. I only ate like the one meal I had at work today. It's like, what am I gonna eat? It's like.
And obviously you're an idiot and
for
poor who can't cook.
Yeah, true. So. But like $4 for like a big ass Whopper, it's like, fuck, sure, why not, man? It's like literally right across the street. Fuck it, I don't care. Two Chick-fil-A's or 2 chicken patties, not 2 Chick-fil-A's, 2 chicken patties for like $1 or something. I'm like, fuck yeah, shove that shit down my gullet, man. Come on.
True.
True, for true.
Yeah.
What about you?
I could never do what about me? For McDonald's?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Yeah, I guess in general. McDonald's preferably, but
like I said, I never was like huge. I ate the double cheeseburger when I was really young. That was I remember that being the thing I ate. And then in high school, I used to go out with a specific friend of mine, and we would get like 40 nuggets and eat them, in his minivan and hang out and shoot the shit.
Hella nuggets is always good. Just walking in and just getting like
just like
as many nuggets as you can.
Yeah.
I had like
6 pounds of nuggets.
I had a friend who was a wrestler, and after wrestling, sometimes they would go to McDonald's, and like I think one time it was like him and like it was like 6 dudes, right? And they walked in, and they were like, "Yeah, just give me like 100 nuggets," and they were like, "You guys want 100 nuggets?"
100?
Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah, give us 100." And so like they watch him literally just like dump them into the fryers, and they're like, "Hey, do you want us to like box these individually?" And they're like, "No, it's fine." They gave him like the bottom
just dump
of
it
like
in a bag.
No, they gave him like the bottom of like a box, like a cardboard box. It was like the big like shipping pallet boxes, and it like they just like they just had like a bottom like inch layer of it. And they were like, "All right, like
that's awesome.
Is this fine?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And, like watching them eat it, crazy, just insane. Because like it's just like leaving grease behind because they poured it right from the fryer onto the fucking like pallet. I don't know, man.
Have I sent you the video of Pee-wee eating or for the dog eating
Mr.
on Pee-wee's
Herman?
Playhouse?
Oh, no. Okay, yes. Yeah. Yeah, you did.
That we should, just speaking of Supersize Me again, when they're like doing this is another problem with this movie. It can't decide if it's coming at like the angle of attack of like, what is wrong with McDonald's? Is it that the food is gross? Is it that the food is bad for you? Is it that the food is marketing to kids? Is it that, America has more like bigger problems and McDonald's is a symptom of it? And so when they're talking about the like McNuggets are made from the oversized breasts of chicken, and it's like, this is so out of place, like to talk about the mechanics of the food. Like it's so like just out of character of the rest of the movie's like thesis. It just doesn't. It goes nowhere. I'm like, yeah, these still taste good.
That's
like, I don't.
I mean, that's the thing that like we sort of touched on, like the thesis that he's pretending. Like there's many theses that he's sort of pretending.
It's totally different.
They're all different, and like they're all sort of vaguely related. To really just push a sort of fatphobic agenda, right? But with the nuggets thing, when he laughs about it afterwards, when he's like eating it and he pulls out like a little piece of gristle, and he's like, "Oh, it was probably a chicken foot." It's like, dude,
it's just disgusting.
The fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
also, people eat chicken feet.
Yeah, chicken feet's pretty good. Yeah, if you make it the right way. Like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, the appeal to like disgust is the number one thing that like this movie's so cruel and like contemptuous for its audience that's the only like real thread is like the disgust button that it wants to hit in you, and that is just like the least effective. I mean, it's emotional, but it is not actually stimulating any intelligent thought or like movement or activity for anyway.
No, 100%. Yeah.
At Taco Bell, my order is a cheesy gordita crunch sub black beans and a 5-layer beefy burrito sub black beans. I used to do the 7-layer burrito, but they discontinued that, so now I have to do the 5-layer and make it a black bean thing. So that's my go-to. I usually do less sauce, less of the gooey stuff, because I'm still whatever celled, pilled, etc. Yeah. But anyway.
What were the 2 layers they got rid of?
I want to say it was the tomato and lettuce. Like it's
really interesting,
whatever, fresco style. Because they were 2 different. They've always been 2 different menu items, and the 7-layer burrito had was more like of the al fresco kind of style. Mm-hmm. I forget that. Let me see, 7-layer burrito. Yeah, black beans, lettuce, tomato, rice, cheese, guac, and sour cream.
Not too shabby.
So now the beefy 5-layer is the cheese, sour cream, the beans, another layer of cheese like inside the burrito, and then burrito itself. So it's it's kind of like a quesarito, which another thing I used to get.
Another old classic standby.
Yeah, I'm a big burrito fan. I don't really love tacos. That's not my...
I like tacos because it lets me spill more cheese in your car. You get more of that loose shredded
car? Yeah.
right on top. You can sort of,
the other day, the other day after because I got my car cleaned, detailed, and I went a couple days later.
Immediately to Taco Bell.
It was not immediate, but it was like 2 days later, and I was sitting there because, why wait?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there eating one of them, and I'm like shaking with fear that I'm going to spill something in my car. I had come from the gym.
You've got napkins laid down all over yourself in the chair, all around.
Ricky, because I came from the gym, so I had my towel sitting on
Oh my god! No, the prophecy comes true.
It was perfect.
Bro.
It was perfect. And I did end up spilling some lettuce from the cheesy gordita crunch.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Thank God. Yeah, it was prophetic.
You're like, God damn it, who spilled this fucking cheese and lettuce in my car?
Ricky! Yeah, who hasn't been in my car
snap me immediately. You're like, what the fuck, man? I just got this shit detailed. I'm like, well then, how would that work? And you're like, Rick!
It was you! Yeah.
God, nobody else eats Taco Bell in my car. God, dude. Fucking disrespectful.
I've literally never eaten at Taco Bell in my life. Yeah, my remaining notes were just like, Jesus Christ, why is this 100 minutes long? Why is 100 minutes of this 104-minute movie montage? Anyway, yeah, it's not good. His conclusions are crazy. The conclusions drawn are so artificially dramatic, where they're like, you could die. Who knows what this did to your body? Just
dumb.
Shut the fuck up. The drinking.
Yeah.
The ending coda, just to wrap it all up here, where he's like, and it took me 5 months to lose 20 pounds. I'm like, this is how you know that he was still drinking, because it shouldn't take you 5 months to lose 20 pounds if you are immediately going back to your previous great diet. Yeah, fuck you. Anyway, the math.
And I'll say, I think, or I hope, one of the biggest paradigm shifts around Supersize Me and the idea that eating bad food makes you fat actually comes from a kind of unlikely source, and that's Rob McElhenney, the guy from Always Sunny, who...
Is that how his name is pronounced?
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I don't. I guess I assumed it was McElhaney.
Oh, probably. That, but... McElhaney. I don't know.
Because don't they call him Mac? Isn't his name Mac?
His name is Mac in the show. I don't... But it's not... I don't know if it's I don't know. Anyway,
the show I don't care about and don't watch.
Yeah.
Continue.
So he gained weight across 2 seasons, and he talks about it on Conan or whatever. Yeah. But he talks about it, and he's like, that was brutal. I was drinking ice cream. He would have to drink a gallon of ice cream every day to reach to the number of calories that he needed, right? And then he talks. He's like, oh yeah, and then when I wanted to cut back down, I went to the best Hollywood dietitian, yada yada.
Yeah. And
I went to him and I asked him. I was like, hey, I've got a specific body type in mind. Guess what the body type is? A. And the guy was like, oh, everyone wants this. Everyone in Hollywood always asks for this.
The Thor, I'm guessing, or the Chris Hemsworth, or it's something the Captain America.
Well, older reference.
Oh.
It's the Brad Pitt from
Oh, from Fight Club.
From Fight Club.
Oh,
yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
he's like, fair.
It's like, yeah, so like I wanted Brad Pitt Fight Club, and the guy was like, everyone wants Brad Pitt Fight Club. Everyone asked for that. And like he
women want him, men want him. Yeah.
Well, the guy was like, yeah, like that took like 6 months of like rigorous training from like a normal body point from like what Brad Pitt had, right? And Brad Pitt was already like fairly jacked,
healthy.
Like healthy, strong, like very attractive men. And like Rob talks about how it took him like months to get down to that, using like like personal trainer, like diet, like personal dietitian, like infinite free time in order
trainers.
to like all of the resources in the world, and it was still like a fucking grueling, like hard process. And I mean, like, yeah, he does look good afterwards, right? But like he talks about how like just horrendous like that time, like that transition is. And I mean, like I feel like people just don't like, yeah, like people talk about that, but I feel like they don't like understand that, like, yeah, like that shit is fucking horrible, man. Like it's just crazy, even with like all of the resources at your command. But yeah, the mental toll and like physical toll that it takes on you, not obviously like, again, like talking about the inputs into your body versus making your body look a certain way. Yeah, people don't understand how horrible that is on you. Like, just, you know what, I've never been that level of jacked or anything like that, but just actually in preparation for this, or like after watching this movie, I gained 50 pounds of muscle. And you're like, actually, Rick, I am now giga jacked.
Yeah. Actually, I have eaten McDonald's for 30 days, and look at my deep V. But so I looked at like my MFP logs from kind of when I was at my worst of like eating calories a day. I should bleep that. Bleep that, future Lane. Yeah, and like I was eating like, you know, 2 rice cakes and a Hot Pocket a day, or like 2, you know, like bullshit, like complete bullshit. I remember you talking about the Hot Pocket era. Yeah. Oh, the Hot Pocket, in my Hot Pocket era. And, you know, and it's like, yeah, I looked great, sure, but I was so fucking like lethargic and like basically only going on mania for like a huge part, because like the runner's high of like starving yourself, especially in the beginning, is so intense. And so like, but then I think about like how fucking shitty, like my hair was falling out, like my, you know, bowel movements were terrible, like, you know, it's just and that's
your body is not like used to processing food at that point. It's like in like starvation
like you said,
mode.
It's a stress response.
You're physically stressing it, and it's like, hey, like what the fuck's going on? Am I dying? Like like is there a famine going on? Like
we need to conserve. It's crazy. And so I mean, obviously I've never been at the level that like, you know, a jacked superstar is, but I can't even imagine, you know, plus add in like steroids, which I'm sure a lot of the men use, you know.
Some are more open about that than others, but like 100%, like
true.
I'm not going to say that Rob went on steroids, but like he probably was on at least something. Like at the very least he was on like a stack of supplements, and like again, he's eating like grass-fed Wagyu or whatever, right? Like every meal is in. The good meth, the pure cut.
Tough. I mean, I'm glad Morgan Spurlock's dead. He should have been in The Hague for this. I can't believe it was nominated for an Oscar. Glad it lost. And he never really went on to make anything else of note except for the One Direction movie, is the other thing I've seen of him from him.
Well, Super Size Me 2, which came on right after Super Size Me, at least from my Apple Prime
13
viewing.
years ago.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it popped on.
Right.
The last thing I have sorry.
I was going to say, apparently he directed the Freakonomics documentary, which another like...
Freakonomics? He's ahead of his time. He was trying to get people to match his freak back then.
Post 9/11 liberal, neoliberal bullshit. documentary.
Anyway, he was trying to get people to shorten call on his freak at that time. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Last thing I have to say about Morgan Spurlock is it sounds like if I was making a D&D character or like some of the like who was like a cowboy warlock, I would call him Spurlock. Based off of like his spurs. He's a lock, Yeah.
That's the joke you want us to end this on? This 2-hour
Not really a joke, again? Just more of an observation. You can cut that if you'd like. No, that's it. Everything's out already, man.
Oh,
I've already puked up
I did
all
have
the
one
McDonald's.
other thing.
What's up?
In the winter, they're recording this in the winter. It's like February is like basically the month that he's doing this in. Mm-hmm. That's when people gain weight also. Yeah, people notoriously gain weight in the winter. Like just as a response of like not going, just another reason that this
you're not seeing the sun as much too. I feel like that's also a part of it. Like, I don't know, there's a lot that people don't talk about in terms of like digestion and like seasonal, seasonal changes and just like life changes, like certain like points in your life where you gain and lose weight. And it's like, wow, like, it shit just happens, man.
Not to be, fat-pilled, positivity maxing, what's a third thing?
Acceptance cell? Mm-hmm.
Acceptance celled. Yes, not to be that, but I really think it's like, it's a type of bigotry to be this anti-fat. And or to be, it really is. And it is threatening to those people's worldview to that worldview to incorporate any other factors in how your body looks and processes food besides just calories in, calories out. Thinking of it as a perfect thermodynamic system, where it's just okay, it's just a numbers, in and out, and that never changes. And it's a personal failing if you can't make those numbers work. All of that, I think it's a worldview thing, really. It's about the bigotry.
It's also, I think it's very challenging to that worldview, the idea that fat can be healthy, right? That that there's a certain percentage of body fat, which is a very healthy range, and that you need to eat fat in order to maintain that.
And it's a range.
And it's a range. And it's a range. Yeah, that's the other side of it. That there is there's a distinct range that's all very healthy. You're not going to face any sort of I don't know, heart problems or whatever, because that's one of the examples I use. You're not going to face any health complications because of that, right? Of your weight. And it's all right, well, if you accept that that's true, then why is it a personal failing that somebody enjoyed that somebody's a certain amount of calories is they like having a little bit more than what they need, because it doesn't make you feel like shit. You were talking about you get that starvation high and whatnot, but when you're outside of that, if you're just eating less, you just feel shitty, right? You're tired, you don't have energy, your head hurts a lot, and it's just
your blood sugar's low, you one time, it happens,
and then they try to make it a personal failing, right? Where it's actually it's because you have no self-control, right? And it's really totally. Self-control to not want to feel like shit. Okay, sure.
Yeah I hate that about intuitive eating too. I think intuitive eating is actually a scam, the idea of that. On its face it's sure, but then people are well, are you really hungry, or are you just seeking food for this, that, and the other thing? And it's food delivers this, that, and the other thing, as well as calories. Maybe we shouldn't just think of food as pure fuel. Food is a cultural thing. Food is a form of comfort. Food is a part of people's identities and their family life and their childhood, and all of these things, comfort food. But those are real. But
it's you like eating a piece of chocolate before bed? Fat fuck, you're disgusting. It's whoa,
how dare you?
Whoa!
Didn't you know? Don't you know if you cut out that 100 calorie chocolate bar over the course of 6 years, you might lose 2 pounds?
Yeah, it's
shut up,
fuck off, man. People do the same moralizing about it's the coffee in the morning argument. Oh well, if you cut out that $1 coffee in the morning, in 346 years, you'd be able to afford a house. You fucking idiot. And it's all right.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Yeah. It's true. Do we have anything else to say about this movie?
Nah.
Also, he's just ugly. I'm just gonna be
really fuck petty. You, Morgan Spurlock. Yeah. You want to go take a shit on his grave?
Mustache.
Oh yeah, it is the mustache.
I kind of do. That's
the mustache is fucking ridiculous, man. Like
it's
that's
really
the look you're going with
2004.
Here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that mutton chops? Is that what that's referred to?
No, mutton chops are the beard.
Okay.
The facial.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
No, he's got the Hulk Hogan going. Like,
yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
You know,
the cream of the crop type beat. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was that Macho Man?
Macho Man Randy Savage? What's it?
Cream of the crop.
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, the cream of the crop always rises to the top. I thought it was Hulk Hogan.
Hogan was not that.
No.
Hogan was not that creative. I feel like. Anyway, next is a Rick's pick.
Yeah.
Did you hear back from Cy?
Literally just now. Yeah, like 1 minute ago.
Ooh, what'd he say?
Yeah, he says he's down for it. He said he'll work on his podcaster voice, and I'm going to discourage him from that. Or his podcaster persona. I'm going to discourage that.
That'll be fun. Yeah. So do we? I mean, then we're locked in basically for next week. It's not a Rick's pick. I'm sorry, I kind of forced your hand here. I stole your Rick's pick from your cold dead hands.
I approve of this one. You stole it actually from my live, warm, well maybe clammy. Well, not clammy.
Clammy.
Not cold. Warm. Slightly sweaty palms.
Sweaty.
It's not even my palms, it's my fingers
palms
too.
Sweaty.
Anyway, but yeah. Yeah, you took it right out of there. Next, we want to watch the Minecraft movie, directed by... I should have looked this up.
Jared Hess, I think is the... Yeah, Jared Hess.
Yeah. Next, we want to watch
also
a
directed
Minecraft
Napoleon
movie.
Dynamite.
Oh, nice. That's actually kind of interesting. This might be okay, then, despite the trailers?
I don't know. Well, let's not go too far. This is not the Minecraft movie. This is a Minecraft
movie. Yes, I was about to say, right, officially, next, we want to watch a Minecraft movie directed by Jared Hess, 2025.
Jason Momoa is, like... Fallen from Grace, one of Lane's guys. So this will be,
Did you like him in Aquaman?
No.
No.
I meant like that I wanted to jump his bones. But he's fallen off for me. So
how so?
And
is it just because he's in this movie, or like has it
just
happened every time?
I don't like. He's not a good actor. I think he's kind of cringe. He's like, yeah. He said some weird shit about liking raping women on Game of Thrones. Like he's like, I love Game of Thrones because it let me rape beautiful women. I'm not kidding. That's like a real thing he said. So it's like, all right,
interesting.
Once I found out about that, I was like, cool. Anyway. But no, I think this will be fun. At the very least, we'll get a lot of listeners.
True. Yeah. Oh yeah. We might get a lot of haters too,
and we'll have to get Cy to come up with a word for
size.
His movie.
Yeah, size side pieces. Size.
But no, that'll be fun.
Size prize.
Maybe I'll release the episode early after we record. Like I'll edit it same day and just drop it early.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay. But yeah, this will be fun. Yeah. Our first movie in theaters in a while.
Yeah.
Since Smile 2?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What if Ronald McDonald was in Smile? What if Smile 3 was like...
What if the Smile Monster invaded Ronald McDonald, and it was every Ronald McDonald, and it was in all the ads, all the Ronald McDonalds in the ads, and it was also all the Ronald McDonalds in the playhouses, and they came to life.
And it was the original Ronald McDonald trademark image that is really scary. God, it's so scary. Okay. Do you want to sing the Kentucky Fried Chicken in a Pizza Hut song? Or should we just play it out?
Let me look it up.
This episode's played out. Oh my god, we went longer on this than... I almost said Empire Strikes Back. Escape from New York.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, this is an official song. That's crazy.
It is?
According to Dr. Gene, yeah. Pizza Hut.
The fast food
Pizza Hut. Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut. Pizza
Why are you singing
Hut.
it like Five Nights at Freddy's?
Pizza Hut. Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut. McDonald's. McDonald's. Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut. McDonald's. McDonald's. Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut. I'm not going into the second verse where they get into Burger King. I don't believe in that, actually.